What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? It's Monday night. It's a cold Monday night up here in the Northeast. I think it's about 25 degrees outside. And this is definitely some football weather now. This is where, we figure out who has the guts to get through December and get into January. Now, the question for me is, Jerm, where is this game at? Is this game in New England? No, actually, it's in Arizona, so they're gonna have some warm football today. But bro, it's cold, man. I don't know what it is in Cleveland right now. What is the temperature out there in Cleveland?
Well, I'm not actually. I'm actually up the roads. I'm up 71. I'm in Columbus, so
Oh,
um, it's actually been decent today. Today's weather, the forecast was roughly about 40, 50 degrees. It's been cool
what?
up here.
Man, we
About
had a
40,
we had a
50
whole
degrees.
snowstorm last night. The kids had a 2 hour delay. I mean, this is the first snowstorm of the year, but this shit was messy, man. Um, but yeah, man, Patriots Cardinals today. I just not exactly excited about this game, but I'm more excited to talk about the games that happened yesterday. I'm more excited to talk about the game that happened on Thursday. So I don't know what you're feeling like today. I don't know what you want to discuss today, but that's
Let's
where
do
I'm
it.
at.
Let's do it. But let's proper introduction this thing one time. Views from the 22 live on the Views from the 22 YouTube channel. We are here. We are here. We are here. Germ So True Pig Jr. reporting live, seen, represented in the building. It is what it is. But listen, we can do some quick recaps on everything that's happened in the NFL world. I'm always down for that. So let's talk about it. I mean, we got a very, very, very interesting December coming up. I'm going really, really quick. I'm gonna read off the AFC and the NFC records or whatever the case is. Right now, currently the number one seed in the NFL for the AFC side is the Buffalo Bills. Chiefs will be number two, followed by the Ravens, followed by the Titans. Then we will start to get into the Bengals and the Dolphins. And then once we get to the Bengals and the Dolphins, then I believe the Jets are in the playoffs as of today over the Chargers. And that's an interesting situation in itself. The Chargers right now with a big win yesterday against the Dolphins. That was a huge win for them, Vic. Did you get a chance to catch that game? And what was just some of
Yeah.
your takeaways?
Um, I try not to criticize too much the players and stuff like that. I saw a meme. There was a meme yesterday from NFL memes. They said the Chargers pick plays like if they have a quarterback with Tua's arm talent, and the Dolphins call plays like they have a quarterback with Justin Herbert's arm talent. So they being petty out there, but man, listen, again, shout out to Tua, has had a great season. But those mesh concepts has been a savior. That speed that he has at receiver has been a savior for his career right now. But yesterday, man, there was some questionable footwork. There was a point in the season with some of the games that I've been able to catch where he looked like he had corrected some of the footwork, some of those issues that he had. But there was a play, man, where like, so you fake your handoff. He faked his handoff to his right, okay, and then but he stayed to his right. Then had to twist over to his left to try to make a throw, make a play. So I'm like, man, if you got to find the consistency there, young man, if you want to be considered one of the elites, if you want to take your team deep in the playoffs, you got to find the consistency with your footwork because there was some throws that were off yesterday. But again, shout out to Tua having a better season, man. I don't want to criticize him too much. I just think that Justin Herbert showed why so far he is to me the better quarterback. Now the Chargers, the results haven't been great. You know, is it a quarterback problem? Is it a whole defense, whole team with the defense, the offensive line problem? Like you just said, the Jets right now hold the spot over them for the playoffs. I mean, you lose out to the Jets, man, who have, just gotten to where they are now as a young team. I mean, that's not good, man. That's not good. That's not good if the Chargers are not able to get in.
So here's the problem, right? The problem with this whole situation and scenario is, and we're just gonna have to call a spade at this point of the year. The problem is we have a team right now in New York that has a very, very good defense. We can say that for both New York teams. Their defenses have been outstanding.
Yeah.
But this is a league in which you have to score points. And both New York teams struggle with what? Scoring points. And that is the key to why the Chargers are such a sexy pick to get into the big dance, because the Chargers, we know, can put up 40, 50 points on any given night.
Right.
And that is the scariest part. But then I was watching that game the other day, and then I'm going to say this, and we're going to move on to another game. We're going to move on to two. We're going to do two quick recap of two other games, then we're going to jump into the Monday night game. I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. I think if the Chargers don't get it done this year, you might have to move on from Keenan. You might have to move on from Keenan. You got a lot of young talent at receiver that you're not paying top dollar to. You need to invest into your offensive line. So you need to find another bookend tackle to go with Slater on the opposite side. And I think the biggest thing you need to do is focus on keeping Justin Herbert, because Herbert doesn't need Herbert is the quarterback that doesn't need A+ receivers in order for him to be great. But having a couple of good players with him is not a bad idea either. And I just think that with the running backs that they have, with the way that they play the game, I feel like Keenan is a luxury that they have, that as much as I love the player, I just don't know if he fits what they need to do moving forward.
And you mentioned the left tackle Slater, who has been out for the season. They're hoping he could come towards the end, probably, if they make the playoffs. But one thing again, not only the inconsistencies, man, but they just seem to not be able to stay healthy. You know what I mean? Like, especially on the offensive line. So yes, like you said, they need to put an investment on that offensive line, period. You have a great quarterback. You have what looks to be an outstanding quarterback. That is very young.
What looks to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah. So, if you got to move on from a Keenan, whether it's a trade or an outright release to kind of save you some money and put that investment in that area, in the trenches, both sides of the trenches. Again, no beef, no Lombardi. I mean, that was that's a great way to explain how you win in football is developing the trenches. And the Chargers, got to be better at that, man. Because again, you're one injury away from your franchise quarterback not being able to be who he can be. So
I'm with you on that, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna end it and go to the next game. As far as the Dolphins go, that's a terrible loss at this point in the season, considering you were getting ready to go to Buffalo. And Buffalo, for whatever reason, really struggles with Miami. So that was Miami's opportunity to really put themselves in the number one seed category, right, and really be able to do a lot of things. And I'm just going to tell everybody this now. Tua is Miami's key to everything. If Tua plays 67% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, maybe limit the interceptions and turnovers, 300 to 275 to 300 yards a night, that Miami Dolphins team is probably going to win a Lombardi. That's how good that talent is on that football team.
No, and then like I said, man, the weather's dropping up here. So, and that game, the first game was in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, against Buffalo. So now they're going to go to Buffalo for the next game. It's next week, you said, for sure.
Yep, it's Saturday.
So, bro, I promise you it's gonna be cold in Buffalo. I promise you that. You know what I mean? So, he struggles on the vertical routes. Is he gonna be able to get the ball out on the horizontal routes and the mesh concepts, especially when they go to the deeper level mesh concepts? Is he gonna be able to get the ball out? You know what I mean? So again, the footwork inconsistent was kind of scary yesterday. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Like you said, they could have taken advantage of keeping the game behind Buffalo and probably tie them next week.
Yes, and then now, real quick, listen, man, Philadelphia. Shouts out to the Philadelphia Eagles as a staff, record label, and crew. I just want to give a brief shout out to them. They dominated yesterday. Jalen Hurts is the MVP of this league. It's not really a question. Yeah. He deserves it, and that's all I need to say.
Yeah, I mean, listen, bro, this is somebody that a lot of people just did not peg to be this kind of level of play. You know what I mean? At one point in his career, his football career, he was behind a Baker Mayfield. He was behind a Kyler Murray. He was behind or got replaced by a Tua. You know what I mean? And right now, the dude has just been unbelievable. I mean, of course, there's going to be weaknesses to his game. We got to see when the defenses get tougher in the playoffs. What is he gonna? What kind of Jalen Hurts is going to show up? But this is a great football team. The offensive line has been able to stay healthy. The defense has been able to stay healthy for the most part and still be effective. But I mean, it's a well coached, strong football team, and it's going to be interesting to see how deep they're able to get in the playoffs. Because right now, I mean, bro, the only team that really can give them issues is who? The Cowboys, divisional rivals. But that's about it. I don't see Minnesota being much of a threat. Tampa Bay, I don't know if you want to cover them today, but that's just not a good football team right now.
You're hoping for the 49ers.
The 49ers, yeah, you can't forget about, yeah. So, I mean, San Francisco and Dallas probably right now, it's probably going to be those three teams, bro. And that might be, against San Francisco might be that defense that we'll see where exactly Jalen Hurts is in his career right now. So this is going to be an interesting next few weeks and playoffs for the NFC.
I'm going to say this real quick about the Bucs game and the San Francisco 49ers. Vic, I'm so disappointed in certain things. Like, the one thing I'm the most disappointed with in entirety what that team is the lack of adjustments by the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles is not the head coach for that franchise moving forward. And that is ultimately what this comes in to be. You have to be able to motivate the players as the lead guy. And I just don't see that. And that's part of the problem with that organization. So I'm going to get off of it. I'm going to say this. That 49ers team is set up for any quarterback to go in and be good.
Yeah.
Play within yourself, and they're going to do the rest of the work. I love what they have. I mean, let me tell you something. I never thought I would say this, but that run game might be the best thing since sliced bread. The creativity that they use with their offensive linemen, the way that they get those big bodies moving laterally, the way Christian McCaffrey was playing yesterday, that's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That's C-Mac. So let me be clear and crystal clear when I say it. The 49ers may be right there with the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles as a football team. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The way that they can get pressure is a little bit different than what everybody else because they have Nick Bosa. And Absolutely. Nick Bosa is one of the top 3 players at the respective position of defensive end outside linebacker besides Myles Garrett and TJ Watt. It is those 3 players, and then it's everybody else, and that's no shot at Khalil Mack because he would be right there with them. but it's literally those 4 players and everybody else. And everybody needs to respect that when it comes down to it. And it's
Can't forget about Micah though.
Micah's see, here's the problem. Micah plays a little bit too many spots for you to give him one name.
Right.
He plays a Vic Beasley
Everywhere.
role in this series. Then he turns around here, he's in the middle. Then after he's in the middle over here, now he's with a hand in the dirt.
Yep.
Mike is what you call a hero. He is what you call the hero or the star in that defense. And that is the player, the mismatch that we're going to talk about every week, probably until we figure out what they're going to do to block him or what they're going to do to make his life a little harder.
Right.
But we're going to give him some defensive player of the year consideration as well, because he has been outstanding. And he is still one of the 2 best linebackers that I have ever scouted.
Absolutely.
Him and Devin White, when they out of college, they just don't miss, bro. They just do not miss.
Yeah, I mean, so getting back to Tampa Bay, bro, like honestly, so the coaching is one thing, and you're 100%, I'm 100% with you on that. As much as we criticized
Bruce?
what's his name, Bruce, before, that was one dude that he looked like he'll get in the players' faces. He'll either pump you up or tell you like it is. Be aggressive, but also be friendly and jolly. He looked like that coach that has a mix of everything. So that could be something they're missing. But bro, I've noticed there's been a lot of regression in a lot of the players. I don't think Mike is as explosive as he used to be. This is a kid this is a veteran that's in his 10th year in the league already, believe it or not. Actually, I think this was his 9th season. There's wear and tear on those legs, the lower body injuries.
I think it's his 8th, Vic, because remember, he's the first receiver in NFL history with 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah. And, we have to remember that it comes to a point where there's a lot of wear and tear on those bodies. So even though he's 29, maybe going on 30, he's been 9 seasons going at this right now. Chris Godwin, though, somebody who, 4th year in the league? I don't know if he's the same guy either. So, these injuries are catching up. But even Devin White, bro, as great as he was, as great as he is going forward, I think there's also been some regression there with him and the linebackers. The defense is still top 5, so there's obviously guys still making plays. But
it's not the same.
There's just something not the same. The offensive line, we said it before the season, that interior from the guard to guard is going to be tough. You know what I mean? Especially as soon as Jansen went down, we said without Ali Marpet, Shaq Mason coming over was a good pickup, but he hasn't been very good. Tristan has been in and out of the lineup. And then Donovan Smith, bro. I don't – Trav been trying to replace him for 3 years. Shout out to Trav. And we've been like right behind him with it. And this man just been worse this year, dog. So, and that's not to mention maybe Tom has taken a step back, but it's not a big step back. I think they got 6 wins because of Tom right now.
I think that's a 2-win football team. That's a 2-win football team without Tom on the field.
Absolutely.
And the other thing too is, do you realize, Vic, they had a big play in that game that was called back with Mike Evans for a touchdown?
Yeah.
Because Donovan Smith was holding. So I need y'all to understand, when Tom is making the plays, they're getting called back. So it's almost like it's deflating. But the bigger thing is, as we wrap this up, I'm going to give a quick brief standings in the NFC real quick. But the problem with the Bucs is no adjustments. They're going to be a very interesting team that gets in the playoffs if they win their division. But what they have to do is they got to take care of business in their division. Yeah. So if the Bucs are in a situation where they play the Falcons and the Panthers as 2 of the last couple of games that they have, if they win those 2 games and take care of 1 more game, they'll end up being at least a 9-8 to 10-7 football team. And that's the best it's going to get at this stage.
I mean, you got the Panthers and the Saints right behind you, bro. That's embarrassing. I think they're
It's
one game back. I think
one
the Panthers are one game back right now. 6-7 Buccaneers, 5-8 Panthers, who had a big win against
5-8
Seattle,
Falcons.
and 5-8 Falcons.
And then the Saints are 4-9 because the Saints lost.
That's embarrassing.
It really is, but this is where we are in the season. So we got New England. So real quick, the standings as of today, we got 12-1 Philly, 10-3 Cowboys, 7-5-1, 7-5-1 Commanders and Giants. I want y'all to know that game next week, Sunday night, is going to be a great one because that is a game that's going to determine who is probably going to make the playoffs and who's not between those two teams. We got the 49ers. Look at Seattle just holding steady at 7-6 with no Russell Wilson. We'll talk about that another day. The Minnesota Vikings at 10-3. Even though they lost to the Lions last night, I'm gonna be honest with you. This Lions team, Vic, is fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Shouts out to Dan Campbell.
Yep.
And then we got the abysmal Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7-6, 6-7, leading their division barely. I am all for it, but I just want y'all to know, man, we got a lot of stuff that we're gonna try to get some stuff going this week for sure. But just know, like, it's a lot of football conversations that we need to have, and I think we're gonna start them on the Facebook wall this week. Vic, this game tonight, real quick, 60 seconds. Patriots going to Glendale. I'm going to be honest with you. The Patriots are in a situation where they're just keeping pace with the Jets right now. I'm gonna be real. If the Patriots win, I think they got the tiebreaker over the Jets, so they would actually enter the conversation. Or the Chargers might enter the conversation. I'm not sure. I forgot who won that earlier matchup. But if you're Arizona, the coach got to go. We got to figure out something new.
I'll tell you what. If I'm the Cardinals, and I don't care, I'm being petty right now, whoever listening, I'm bringing him. If the Rams don't give Baker a little extension, bring him Baker and let him compete with Kyler, because Kyler has been butt cheek, okay? And you just signed him to an extension. You signed him to an extension way before you needed to, okay? He babied his way into an extension. He babied his way out of the film room, okay? You know what I mean? So where are we? How much better is he really than Baker Mayfield? I thought you shut the camera off on me.
I started to. I really did. I really did. I really started to just turn your whole mic off. With that being said, with everything being said, man, we just gonna keep it $150. I don't really have very much interest in this particular game, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Give me the Patriots today because I feel like at the end of the day, I don't have any faith in anything that Arizona team is doing. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So with that being said, give me New England 23, the Cardinals 21.
Same thing. I think it's a low-scoring game, 23-20, I guess. You know what I mean? Patriots. I think defensively they'll be ready for the Cardinals.
Well, with that being said, guys, ladies and gents, boys and girls, we are Views from the 22. We will be back later in the week. We got a Thursday night game this week. We have Saturday night games this week, and then we got some Sunday games, of course. So we're going to spend some time recapping a lot of good action and going over a lot of good action. Make sure you guys join the Facebook group Views from the 22 on Facebook, and always send us a tweet. We are out there, Views from the 22, and then make sure you guys are paying attention to the Scene channel as well. Scene channel will be back up soon. Just remember, enjoy the games at all times. Please make sure you remember football is almost over, y'all. Got about 2 months left of the sport.
Yeah.
So the sport comes and goes and it leaves us every year and we be sad. So enjoy the game. 22. We out, man.